The primary is on August 28th. For a better sense of the dynamics at play in the months leading up to the midterm, we asked political professor Samara Klar for her insight. She represents the University of Arizona School of Government and Public Policy. We begin with her thoughts on what's driving interest in this election.
Well, there's been a ton of grassroots movement recently about education, about gun rights, a lot of opposition to the president. We have seen women in the Women's March gathering together and mobilize. So I think we are seeing an unusual amount of mobilization at the grassroots level, and that could, I think, indicate a higher turnout than we normally see for a midterm election.
Will we see more women running for positions?
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of women candidates recently, and particularly women of color. There are more African American women who are running, particularly at state levels for office. So we're seeing, certainly more women and more minorities getting involved at an elite level. I don't know if we'll necessarily see a lot of women winning. We don't have any indications quite yet, but there's definitely a lot of engagement.
Over the last few months, we heard a lot about Red for Ed movement.
Yeah.
And the new hashtag is Remember in November. Do movements like that tend to really ignite some momentum as we move into a midterm?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the timing is right for the Red for Ed movement. The midterm is really right around the corner. Especially here in Arizona, there was such a huge wave of excitement around this movement. The organization was phenomenal. I thought the movement was really, really strong and seems to be having some effect, at least at the state legislative level. So yeah, I would expect to see that really sticking around in November. I think the people behind that movement are really committed.
This seemed to gain some, maybe some traction back when we had President Trump versus Hillary Clinton. People were talking. There was a lot of movement in social media.
Right.
And then Election Day, it really challenged everybody. Suddenly the polls weren't as accurate as we thought.
Yeah.
Are we losing faith in things like polling? Are we moving now to social media as our guide?
I think both are helpful. To be honest, if there's any time where you should be confident in the polls, it's probably now, because pollsters have taken such a hard look in the mirror after 2016, and they really are trying to figure out what went wrong and how they can improve. It looks like one of the issues in 2016 is that a lot of the pollsters were not separating the college educated from those with more than a college education, with graduate school education. So they're really trying to create a more fine-tuned analysis of voters to figure out who is voting for whom and what are the odds that they're actually going to turn out and vote.
A unique time for Arizona. We have one open Senate seat.
Right.
We have another long-term senator who's openly battling a deadly brain cancer. In a recent book, Senator John McCain actually said, "This is my last term." Does that mean that we have additional eyes set on Arizona this year as we potentially have two Senate seats being looked at?
Absolutely. Even in 2016, before John McCain and Jeff Flake became such news items towards blue, there was some suggestion that Clinton could even win Arizona. We know she did not, and that Trump does have a fair amount of support here. But Arizona is a really interesting place for, I think, people who are interested in politics all over the country to look. We have an open Senate seat. We have changing demographics. We're a border state. I think there's a lot of reasons why Arizona is going to get a lot of attention in the midterms.
What about the younger generation that we've heard we'll see come this election?
There's often a lot of optimism around the younger generation really coming out to vote, and that is often met with disappointment on the day after the election. I think the gun rights movement among the younger generation was really inspiring for a lot of young voters. We will see if they actually come out to vote. There's going to be a lot of sustained mobilization efforts that are needed in order for them to actually come out.
Does the research show these young people eventually mature and show up at the polls, or do they just drift off and we...
No, it appears that they do, and we have seen some interesting changes with the millennial generation. For example, women who are millennials are much more democratic than previous generations of women. So overall, that has pushed the millennial generation much more to the left. Given that they are so much more liberal, they may be increasingly likely to vote, given that they're probably more opposed to the president than millennials generally tend to be. So there are some indications that they may turn out. We'll see.
Samara, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.